I swear we're going somewhere metal detecting related with this, but let me ask you. Do you remember The Matrix?
Yeah, remember Morpheus and Neo and that big decision that Neo had to make. Do you take the red pill or the blue pill?
The Matrix is everywhere. It's Minelab, it's XP, it's Simultaneous Multi Frequency. What does it all mean? That's what we're going to go into right here.
And the reason this is important is there is both fact and fiction. The fact is, yes, detecting technology has come a long way, but there's so much perception. We're going to blast through the perceptions.
Look at this excerpt from this absolutely adorable post from High Plains Prospectors. Minelab announces next generation multi-frequency technology. Okay, read this. Everything changed when Minelab, the world leader in metal detecting technologies, pioneered simultaneous multi-frequency technology. For the first time ever, Detectors could use breakthrough Minelab multi-IQ technology in powerful, Vanquish, and Equinox detectors. That's marketing. That's marketing. Now, one thing that I'm very proud of is I have a very smart audience. I have learned so much going through the comments. Let me read this one, at least part of it. This is from Gene Ponce. American technology put multi-frequencies in DFX Detector in the late 90s. DFX was a detector from White's Electronics, which no longer exists. And in the early 2000s, the V3i ran 3 with a display screen that rivals detectors today. They were ahead of their time and people didn't want to spend their time to learn that. Meanwhile, their patents expired and Minelab took them and ran with it. Now, I did my best to fact check because that was a fascinating comment. White's DFX was released in 2001 and replaced by DFX 300 in 2008. Let's go back to 2001.
Welcome to White's video learning series, the DFX.
Listen to the wording of this.
Congratulations on your purchase of the DFX. It promises to revolutionize metal detecting by making it easy for the novice and experienced treasure hunter alike. Its technology is so advanced, it makes discovery simple. This video presentation will allow you to get out and start hunting right away, and will also serve as a valuable reference as you refine your skills and gain experience with your detector. As you will discover, the DFX is a powerful and versatile machine. Some of its features have never been incorporated into a metal detector before, so it's up to treasure hunters like yourself to find out what its capabilities are. The DFX is a dual-frequency machine. The significance of this technological achievement is best explained by DFX project engineer Mark Rowan.
The DFX transmits and receives simultaneously at these 2 frequencies, 3 kilohertz and 15 kilohertz. And what makes it unique is we have each of these frequencies available independently, and we can select either one and process signals in the manner in which we've successfully done it for many years by doing ground balancing, discrimination, etc. at either frequency. So the operator can select whichever one he feels is more appropriate for the kinds of targets he's looking for and the ground conditions and such. But in addition to that, the DFX can process both frequencies of information simultaneously. And the way we do that is by first processing them in a conventional fashion. So for example, we'll do discrimination at 3 kilohertz by conventional means. We'll also do discrimination at 15 kilohertz by conventional means. And then our microprocessor will compare the results.
Who did it first is not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I am trying to make is that this has been around for a very long time. It is not new. I actually Googled Mark Rowan and I found his LinkedIn profile, and he was the chief engineer, the Bruce Candy of White's, if you will, and principal design engineer for Spectrum, XLT, and DFX series metal detectors, and they had 12 engineers on staff. But the real rock star of metal detecting engineering, Bruce Candy.
For 25 years, Bruce Candy has worked to improve the operation and performance of handheld metal detectors for the detection of landmines, gold nuggets, and general coin, treasure, and relic items buried in the ground. His work and exceptional skill in electronics and the application of physics principles to electronic design has won him recognition as the leading scientist worldwide in his field.
A prospect and a businessman approached me to ask me whether it was possible to build a metal detector. Of course, the answer is, by definition, it is. That's how technology advances, and that's how Minelab started.
Over a period of 10 years, while working as the principal scientist at Minelab Electronics Proprietary Limited, Bruce set out to improve the performance of existing machines that were unable to operate effectively in mineralized soils.
One advantage that Minelab has is Australia. Think of the gold that is pulled there. Think of the mineralization. I see comments all the time about Australian beaches and the amount of iron on them, the black sand on them. Having a testing ground like Australia and being able to create a fix in Australia is an advantage.
Through his work, the concept of multi-period sensing, MPS, metal detection technology was invented, and in 1996, the first MPS product was launched.
So the video just said MPS came out in 1996, but this is interesting. MPS, multi-period sensing, is Minelab's advanced pulse induction technology that transmits pulses of different time periods. MPS also samples the received signal at multiple time periods, allowing target signals and ground signals to be separated. But I know from, again, people leaving great comments on my videos that the great-grandfather or grandmother of multi-IQ technology is broadband spectrum and then full band spectrum. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link to this page in the video description of the video, perhaps the tagged comment also, but you could read about the evolution of Minelab's technologies in this link. And here's full band spectrum, and broadband spectrum is right below it. And it's very much what I just said. It is the great-grandfather, great-grandmother of multi-IQ. Who did it first is not the point that I'm trying to drive home, but it'll take 2 seconds. BBS technology can be found in Minelab's Excalibur II and Sovereign GT metal detectors. The release date for the Sovereign GT was October 2005, and for the Excalibur was 2007. And now it's XP time. So back in October, I did a video titled "We Broke Metal Detecting." What you're seeing is a oscilloscope which measures what is emitted from a device, and that's the Deus. And I knew I was over my head technologically, so I asked for help. I need your help to peer review this video.
По този начин може да виждаме какво излъчва не само сондата на Deus II, но всякакъв вид сонди. Сега искам да обърнем обаче внимание. Това е трета програма. Това виждате, че те тук не се променят много. Ето, промени се на парк.
Променя се периода на повторение на целия пакет. Да. Малко става по-дълъг или по-нискочастотен.
Тя тук е мултичастотна на програмата Deep. Обръщам внимание. Тук може да очаквате по-добри резултати.
So I asked for a peer review, and my viewers came through. Well, here is the peer review. This is from Christian, and thank you, Christian. This is a big help to all of us. Hi, Merrill. I used the Deus II now for some time, and I'm quite happy with it. I did some oscilloscope measurements and saw your video about the Deus II as well, and some of my tests might be of interest to you. I'm an electrical engineer, and it can't stop me from looking with some of my tools on the detector. I'm a little like you, also trying to go behind the wall of mystery, and I want to understand the Deus II better. The target is to use the tool most efficiently. Here are my measurements and assumptions. So far, I figured out 4 types of electrical field emission of the coil. There is definitely the Deus Mono, which is separate, but there are 3 multi-frequency types. And here's the program, maximum frequency used, and frequencies used and measured. So it seems that there are really only 2 frequencies emitted. Well, multi is then just satisfied, but multi, that is dual to me, but never mind, marketing needs to be there. So my measurements prove the assumptions made in your video by the Bulgarian fellow. But let's go back to the first line of that email. Hi Merrill, I use the Deus II now for some time and I'm quite happy with it. And that takes us back to the Matrix. You're here, so that means you took the bread pill with me. Cheers, brah. Now we know that a second party has come to the same conclusion, that the Deus II operates in 2 frequencies most of the time.
Free your mind, Neo.
Listen, people, in real life, I'm way too fat to do that, but you know what? The Deus II is a phenomenal machine. It doesn't matter at all to me, the end result of that test, that it is dual frequency instead of like taste the rainbow. What has owning 21 metal detectors taught me? That you take a detector like this Simplex and you compare it to something top of the line like a Deus, like a Manticore. You know, maybe it's 80-85% of that. But, you know, we're talking about like the $200 range versus the $1,600 range. And there's really not a justifiable price difference. After you've been in this hobby for a long time, you will pay a premium to get that extra half an inch or inch deeper into the ground or better separation. But in most places, you're not going to need that. Like in America, the coins haven't sunk that far. Deepest coin I've ever gotten, maybe 15 inches. And that was in a very wet environment. Beaches, that's totally different. But on the dirt, you know, 15 inches, that's about all. All of those detectors have paid for themselves. Part of it is through you guys putting up with the advertisements on YouTube and enabling me to quench my thirst. So thank you for that. I'll close by reiterating that if you really, really look, and I've heavily scrutinized my collection of detectors, there's no more than a 40% difference in performance from the best to the worst. So that means that you could succeed with any one of these. Sure, there's environments like there's some detectors that are not made for the beach. If you try using them at the beach, you're not going to be too happy. That doesn't apply there. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, for the most part, 40% from top to bottom. Just go out and detect people. Thanks for watching.